to sleepy Chronicles. Whatever today brought you the noise, the rush, the things that didn't go the way you wanted, you can set all of that down now. Lie back. Put your headphones in. Let your shoulders drop and your jaw unclench. This is your time, and there is nowhere else you need to be. If you enjoy what we do here, quiet voices, slow history, and the kind of stories that make your eyelids feel heavier with each sentence, please take a moment to like this video and subscribe. It costs nothing and means quite a lot. And let us know in the comments where in the world you're listening from. We read every single one. Tonight we're going to ancient Egypt, not the Egypt of golden thrones and painted pharaohs. You are going to wake up before the sun does, in a room that isn't yours, in a life that was decided for you before you had any say in it. This is one day, one ordinary, unglamorous, quietly human day. So get comfortable. We'll take it from here. You open your eyes before the sun does. Not because you want to. Not because something woke you. Just because your body has learned over years that this is when the day begins, and it no longer waits to be told. The room is dark. Warm. It is always warm. This is Egypt, but dark in the way that feels total, complete, like the night has filled every corner and settled there for good. Around you, 7 other women are breathing, some still asleep, some, like you, already somewhere between. You lie still for a moment, just a moment. This is yours. The ceiling above you is the same ceiling it was yesterday and will be tomorrow. Mud brick, smooth plaster, a thin crack near the north corner that appeared 2 winters ago and has not gotten worse. You know this ceiling the way you know your own hands. Better, maybe. You sit up, reach for your linen wrap, fold it, place it in the wooden box beside your mat. Inside the box, there is a small faience bead, blue-green, worn smooth, older than your memory of where it came from. You don't take it out. You just know it's there, and that is enough. You run a comb through your hair twice. Roll your mat. Set it against the wall in its place. No one requires this of you. No one checks. But these 2 minutes, the folding, the combing, the rolling, are the 2 minutes of the day that belong entirely to you, and you protect them without making a show of it. You step outside. The sky is still dark, but thinking about changing. That particular deep blue that exists only in the hour before dawn, layered and slow, lightening at the edges where the horizon is making up its mind. The air smells of the Nile, that green, ancient smell that has no equivalent anywhere else. Water and silt and something older underneath. You have lived on this estate since you were 11. You are 23 now. You stopped counting the years at some point, not from despair, but from practicality. The number didn't change anything, so you let it go. The estate belongs to a mid-ranking official whose name you know but rarely say. It is large enough that you have never been in every room, organized enough that everything runs on a rhythm so established it no longer requires instruction. You are part of that rhythm. You have been for a long time. Your overseer is a woman named Nebbit. She is efficient, not unkind, and remembers your name without being reminded. In your experience, this is about as much as you can reasonably hope for, and you hold it accordingly. The kitchen fires are already lit when you pass the courtyard. This means you are on time. You have not been late in 4 years, and you do not intend to start now. You walk toward the main house. The day has begun. The main house is cool when you enter. Not cold. Nothing here is ever truly cold, but cool in the way that thick mud brick holds the night's temperature for a few hours each morning, like it's not quite ready to let go of the dark yet. Your feet find the smooth plaster floor, and you feel it immediately. This is the best part of the morning. This and the quiet. You start in the receiving hall. Always the receiving hall first. You have done this so many times that your hands know what to do before your mind catches up. The palm fiber brush moving across the floor in long, even strokes, starting from the far wall and working back toward the entrance. Dust and fine sand, always sand, gathering at the edges. The cedar table near the door gets wiped down next. There is a mark on it, has been for 3 days now. Something left by one of the children, you think, that won't come clean with a dry cloth. You make a note to bring a damp one tomorrow. Small problems, manageable problems. This is what most of the day is made of. The oil lamps come after. You move along the row of them with the clay vessel, refilling what needs refilling, trimming the wicks that have burned uneven. There are 11 lamps in this room alone. You know each one, which one always needs more oil, which one the wick sits slightly crooked and has to be adjusted by hand. Does that seem like a small thing to know? Maybe. You have learned that knowing the small things is what keeps the day from surprising you, and surprises, in your experience, are rarely good. Iput finds you in the east corridor, just before mid-morning. She appears the way she always appears, suddenly, with something already on her mind, as if the conversation started before she arrived, and you simply missed the beginning. This morning, it is about the storage room on the north side, which apparently smells wrong, and someone needs to tell Nebet, and Iput has decided that someone is you. You tell her you will think about it. She tells you that thinking about it is not the same as doing it. You tell her you are aware of that. She looks at you for a moment with the expression she gets when she suspects she is being handled, then moves on. You watch her go. There is something almost reliable about Iput, the way she arrives, the way she fills a space, the way she leaves it slightly louder than she found it. You have known her for 6 years. In that time, she has told you approximately everything about herself and asked you almost nothing in return, which suits you better than she knows. The flowers by the entrance need replacing. You take the wilted ones from the faience vessel, Blue Lotus, 2 days past useful, and carry them to the garden at the north end of the estate. The replacement stems are already cut and waiting, placed there by whoever tends the garden before anyone else is awake. You have never seen this person. You know them only by the flowers they leave. You put the fresh ones in the vessel and step back. They are very blue against the white wall. You stand there for slightly longer than the task requires. By the time the sun has climbed high enough to make the courtyard uncomfortable, you have finished the receiving hall, the east corridor, and 2 of the family rooms. The 3rd family room has a window that faces west and will be unbearable until late afternoon. So you leave it. You know which battles to fight and when. Nebet passes you in the corridor just before the midday rest. She glances at the east corridor lamps, then at you, and gives a single nod. Not praise exactly. Acknowledgement. The confirmation that the work was done and done correctly. You have learned to receive this the way it is given, briefly, without making more of it than it is. But you receive it. The midday rest arrives like a small mercy, not because anyone is being generous. You understand that by now. A person who collapses from heat is a person who cannot work tomorrow, and tomorrow's work matters as much as today's. The rest exists for practical reasons, but you have learned over the years to take what is given without interrogating why it was given. The reason doesn't change what it feels like to lie down. The room is dim. The other women settle around you in the familiar arrangement, Iput on your left, slightly too close as always, one arm already drifting toward your space with the confidence of someone who has never once in her life felt she was taking up too much room. You say nothing. You have not said anything about this in 6 years, and you are not going to start today. You lie on your back and look at the ceiling. The thin crack near the north corner is still there. Of course it is. You find yourself checking for it the way you check for the bead in your wooden box, not because you expect it to be gone, but because the confirmation that it is still there is its own small comfort. Things staying where they are. The world behaving the way it said it would. Outside, the heat is doing what it does in the second hour past noon, pressing down on everything equally, flattening the light, silencing the birds. Even sound seems to slow. You have heard people from other places describe Egyptian summers with something like horror. To you it is simply the middle of the day. You were born into this heat. It is not something that happens to you. It is just the air. Sleep doesn't come today. It rarely does during the rest, despite what the name suggests. What comes instead is something adjacent to it, a loosening, a softening of the edges, your body recovering, while your mind stays just at the surface, turning things over quietly the way water turns over stones. You think about the storage room Iput mentioned this morning, the one that smells wrong. You have been past it twice this week and noticed it yourself, but said nothing. Because noticing something and deciding what to do about it are two different things, and you have learned not to confuse them. Tomorrow, you will mention it to Nebet directly in the morning, before the day gets complicated. One sentence. That is all it will take. This is how you manage things. Quietly in advance, without drama. Does it ever get tiring? Doing everything this way, carefully, efficiently, without making a show of it. You consider this question with the same even attention you give everything else. Yes, sometimes. But the alternative is disorder, and disorder costs more than the effort of preventing it. You learned this early. It has not stopped being true. Iput makes a sound beside you that is halfway between a word and a snore. You glance at her. She is asleep, mouth slightly open, the small crease between her brows that is always there now, even in sleep, smoothed out and gone. She looks younger when she sleeps. less certain of everything. You find this, unexpectedly, a little tender. She has been talking about the festival for 3 weeks. Every day a new detail she has remembered or invented. The procession route, the quality of the offerings last year, a story about someone's cousin who fainted from the heat during the ceremony 2 summers ago and was carried home by a priest who was apparently very tall. You have heard this story 4 times. Each time the priest gets slightly taller. You let her tell it. There are worse things than someone who finds reasons to look forward to things. In your experience, considerably worse. The light stripe coming through the high window has moved across the floor and is beginning to climb the opposite wall. The worst of the heat is passing. Around you, the women are beginning to stir. The small sounds of people returning to themselves. The rustle of linen, someone clearing their throat. You sit up before most of them. Not because you have to, just because you are ready. You reach into your wooden box and touch the bead briefly with one finger. You don't take it out. You never take it out during the day. But the contact is enough, that small, smooth surface, cool despite the heat, familiar in the way that only very old things become familiar. Then you stand, straighten your wrap, and move toward the door. The afternoon work is lighter. Smaller tasks that can be done slowly, without urgency. You prefer the afternoon for this reason, though you would not say prefer out loud. Preference implies options. And options are not something you have been given in large supply. But you have this, the quiet corridor, the slant of late light through the narrow windows, the lamps to check and the rooms to finish, and the small, specific knowledge of exactly what needs doing and exactly how to do it. You pick up the palm fiber brush. The day continues. The sun drops fast in Egypt. One moment it is afternoon. The light still hard and present. And then something shifts, and the shadows stretch long across the courtyard, and the air changes temperature the way a held breath finally releases. You have watched this happen every evening for 12 years, and it still does something to you. Not wonder exactly, something quieter than wonder. Recognition, maybe. The evening meal comes from the kitchen courtyard. You collect your portion, bread, lentils cooked with onion and cumin, a small piece of dried fish, and carry it to the east wall, where the last of the light is still warm against the stone. Iput is already there, sitting with her legs folded, tearing her bread into pieces with the focused attention of someone who has been thinking about this moment since mid-morning. She looks up when you sit down. "I told Nebbit about the storage room," she says. You look at her. "This morning," she adds, "before you could." You say nothing for a moment. Then, what did she say? She said she already knew. Iput tears another piece of bread. She always already knows. I don't know why we bother. You eat your lentils. They are good tonight. Someone added more cumin than usual. And the onion has gone soft and sweet the way it does when it has been cooked slowly. Small things, worth noticing. We bother, you say, because sometimes she doesn't already know. Iput considers this. Then she nods once, with the expression of someone filing information away for later use. This is the thing about Iput that you have come to understand over 6 years. Underneath all the noise and the opinions and the stories about increasingly tall priests, she is paying attention. She misses less than she appears to. The sky to the west is doing something extraordinary. Deep orange at the horizon, fading up through shades that don't have names, into a blue so precise it seems deliberate. You have seen this sky, or one very like it, every evening for 12 years, and it still asks something of you. Not much, just that you look. You look. The festival is in 8 days. You know this because Iput has been counting out loud since the beginning of the month. 8 days. You find yourself thinking about it more than you expected. The procession, the sound of the sistrums, that feeling you get standing at the edge of the crowd that you still don't have a name for. Wide and quiet and very awake all at once. Does it mean something to you beyond the day off work, beyond the spectacle? You sit with the question while you finish your bread. Yes, something does. Not the theology exactly. You have never been someone who moves easily through the larger ideas, the gods and their requirements, and the intricate architecture of the afterlife. But the feeling of standing beside thousands of other people, all of them paused in the same moment, all of them looking at the same thing, that means something. The lamps in the main house are being lit now, one by one, the warm light appearing in the narrow windows like something gradual and deliberate. You watch it happen from the east wall, your empty bowl in your hands, the sky above you moving through its final colors. Iput stands, brushes crumbs from her lap, and announces that her back hurts, and she is going to sleep before anyone can give her a reason not to. You tell her good night. She tells you not to stay out here too long, in the tone of someone who knows you will stay out here too long and has decided to mention it anyway. She goes inside. You stay. The courtyard is nearly empty now. A guard crosses the far end without looking your way. Somewhere in the main house, a child is being settled for the night. A voice rising and falling in that particular rhythm that means sleep is being negotiated. The Nile is there underneath everything. Its low, constant sound that you only ever notice in the quiet. You reach into the pocket of your wrap and touch the bead. You brought it with you tonight without deciding to. Your hand found the box and took it before your mind weighed in. You hold it in your palm now, that small, smooth weight, and look at the last of the light above the western wall. Tomorrow the festival will be 7 days away. The day after, 6. The storage room will get sorted. The cedar table mark will come out with a damp cloth. The flowers will need replacing again by the end of the week. Small things, your things. You close your fingers around the bead and sit with the evening a little longer. The stars are coming out now, one by one, the way the lamps came on inside gradually, then all at once. You know some of them by position, if not by name. The bright one that appears first, low on the eastern horizon. The cluster that your mother pointed out once, a long time ago, in a place you can no longer picture clearly. You look at them for a while. Then you stand, put the bead back in your pocket, and go inside. The morning of the festival arrives like any other morning. You wake before dawn. The room is dark, but something is different, a looseness in the air, a lightness in the way the other women are moving. Even before anyone speaks, you can feel it. Today is not an ordinary day, and everyone's body knows it. You dress more carefully than usual. The finer linen wrap, the one you keep folded at the bottom of the wooden box, saved for mornings like this. You take the bead out and hold it for a moment in your palm. Blue-green, worn smooth, older than your memory of where it came from. Today, for the first time in as long as you can remember, you put it in your pocket instead of leaving it behind. You want it close. Outside, the sky is doing what it does in the hour before full dawn. That deep, layered blue, moving slowly towards something that hasn't arrived yet. The air smells of the river and of incense, smoke moving across the courtyard in the still air from somewhere you cannot see. The estate is awake earlier than usual. people moving quietly, purposefully, with the specific energy of a day that operates outside the normal rules. Iput finds you by the gate. She is wearing her own good linen and has done something careful with her hair. She looks, you think, like a version of herself that she doesn't get to be very often. She doesn't say good morning. She just falls into step beside you, and that is enough. The procession route runs along the river road. By the time your group joins the edges of the crowd, the priests are already moving, 12 of them carrying the sacred bark on their shoulders. The figure of Amun hidden behind cloth screens, surrounded by the sound of sistrums and low chanting that you feel in your chest before you hear it properly with your ears. You stand at the edge and watch it pass. That feeling comes, the one you have never found a name for, wide and quiet and very awake all at once, as if something in you that is usually folded small has been allowed, just for this moment, to open fully. Around you, people are weeping, laughing, lifting children onto shoulders. A small girl near you is seeing this for the first time, her mouth open, her eyes moving over everything with the absolute attention of someone storing a memory they don't yet know they'll keep forever. You watch her face and feel the bead in your pocket, and think about the cluster of stars your mother pointed out once, in a place you can no longer picture. You think about the crack in the ceiling that hasn't gotten worse, the flowers that are always waiting, cut by hands you have never seen, the way Iput's face goes smooth and young when she sleeps, the cedar table, the 11 lamps, the stripe of light moving across the floor each afternoon, like something that knows exactly where it's going. Small things, yours. The bark passes. The chanting fades toward the river. The crowd begins to loosen, people turning back toward their days, carrying something additional that the morning gave them without asking. You stay still a moment longer. The Nile is wide and slow from here, completely indifferent to festivals and pharaohs, and the 23-year-old standing at its edge, holding a bead in her pocket. It has been moving since before the temples. It will be moving after them. It does not need a reason. It just goes and carries what it carries, and that is enough. Iput appears at your shoulder. The tall priest wasn't there, she says. I know. Disappointing. Very. She links her arm through yours, and you walk back together through the dust of an Egyptian morning. And the sun is fully up now, and it is warm, and you are here, and that is the whole of it, and that is where we leave you. walking back through the dust, carrying what you carry, which is less than it should be, and more than nothing, and entirely, quietly yours. If you have made it this far, your eyes are heavy now. The world outside is doing whatever it does, and you have left it behind for a little while. Good. That was the whole point. So let your body sink into whatever is beneath you. Let your hands go still. Let your shoulders fall. You don't need to hold onto anything tonight. There is nothing that requires solving before morning, and morning is a long way off. Think of something small and good. It doesn't need to be significant, just something that is yours. Let that be the last thing before you let go. If this story kept you company tonight, we would love it if you liked this video and subscribed to Sleepy Chronicles. It means more than you know. Sweet dreams. Good night.